Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Chapter 5. Rishabha Uvacha Nayam Deho Dehabhajam Ruloke Kashtan Karmanarhate Vidham Bujam Ye Tapo Divyam Putraka Yena Sattvam Shuddhye Shuddhyedhyasmad Brahma Saukhyam Tvanantam. Lord Rishabhadeva told his sons, "My dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for the dogs and hogs that eat stool. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever. Mahatsevam Vimukteस्तमोद्वारं योषितां Sangi Sangam Mahantaste Samachitta Prashanta Vimanyava Suhruda Sadavo Ye. One can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. These personalities are impersonalists and devotees. Whether one wants to merge into Lord's existence or wants to associate with the personality of Godhead, one should render service to the Mahatmas. For those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. The Mahatmas are equipoised. They do not see any difference between one living entity and another. They are very peaceful and are fully engaged in devotional service. They are devoid of anger and they work for the benefit of everyone. They do not behave in an abominable way. Such persons are known as Mahatmas. Ye va maishe kruta sauhrudartha janeshu dehabhyaravartikeshu gruheshu jayatmajaratimatsu napriti yukta yavadarthascha loke. Those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness and increasing their love of Godhead do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. They are not interested in mingling with people who are busy maintaining their bodies, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. They are not attached to their homes, although they may be householders, nor are they attached to wives, children, friends, or wealth. At the same time, they are not indifferent to execution of their duties. Such people are interested in collecting only enough money to keep the body and soul together. Nunam pramattah kurute vikarma yadindriya pritaya aprunoti nasadu manye yata atmano yam asannapih kleshada asadehaha. When a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activity. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on a material body, but he has been awarded the material body for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it is not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in activities of sense gratification by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. पराभवस्तावदबोधजातो यावन्न जिज्ञासत आत्मतत्त्वं यावत् क्रियास्तावदिदं मनो वै कर्मात्मकं येन शरीरबन्धः. As long as one does not inquire about the spiritual values of life, one is defeated and subjected to miseries arising from ignorance. Be it sinful or pious, karma has its resultant actions. If a person is engaged in any kind of karma, his mind is called karmakarta, colored with fruitive activities. As long as the mind is impure, consciousness is unclear, and as long as one is absorbed in fruitive activity, he has to accept a material body. एवं मनः कर्मवशं प्रयुङ्क्ते आविद्ययात्मन्युपधीयमाने प्रीतिर्न यावन्मयि वासुदेवे न मुच्यते देहयोगेन तावत्. When a living entity is covered by the mode of ignorance, he does not understand the individual living being and the supreme being, and his mind is subjugated to fruitive activity. Therefore, until one has love for Lord Vasudeva, who is none other than myself, he is certainly not delivered from having to accept a material body again and again. यदा न पश्यत्य यथा गुणेऽहं स्वार्थे प्रमत्तः सहसा विपश्चित् गतस्मृतिर्विन्दति तत्र तापा नासाद्य मैथुन्यमघारसङ्गः मग्नः. Even though one may be very learned and wise, he is mad if he does not understand that the endeavor of sense gratification is useless waste of time. Being forgetful of his own interest, he tries to be happy in the material world, centering his interests around his home, which is based on sexual intercourse and which brings him all kinds of material miseries. In this way, one is no better than a foolish animal. Pumsastriya mituni bhavametam taryormito hrudaya granthi mahuhu ato gruhaschetra sutaptavittair janasya mohoyamaham mameti. The attraction towards male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and the female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. Yada mano hृदयग्रन्थिरस्य कर्मानुबद्धो दृढ आश्लतेत तदा जनः सम्परिवर्तते स्माद् muktah param yatma nihaya hetum. When the strong knot in the heart of a person implicated in material life due to the results of past action is slackened, one turns away from his attachment to home, wife, and children. In this way, one gives up the basic principle of illusion, I and mine, and becomes liberated. Thus, one goes to the transcendental world. हंसे गुरौ मयि भक्त्यानुवृत्त्या नितृष्णया द्वन्द्वतितिक्षया च सर्वत्र जन्तोर्व्यसनावगत्या जिज्ञासया तपसेहानिवृत्त्या मत्कर्मभिर्मत्कतया च नित्यं मदेव सङ्घाद्गुणकीर्तनान्मे निर्वैरसाम्योपशमेन पुत्रा जिहासया देहगेहात्मबुद्धेः अध्यात्मयोगेन विविक्तसेवया प्राणेन्द्रियात्माभिजयेन यद्यक् तच्छ्रद्धया ब्रह्मचर्येण शश्वद् असम्प्रमादेन यमेन वाचं सर्वत्र मद्भावविचक्षणेन ज्ञानेन विज्ञानविराजितेन योगेन धृत्युद्यमसत्त्वयुक्तो लिङ्गव्यपोहेत्कुशलोऽहमाख्यम्. O my sons, you should accept a highly elevated Paramahamsa, a spiritually advanced spiritual master. In this way, you should place your faith and love in me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You should detest sense gratification and tolerate the duality of pleasure and pain, which are like the seasonal changes of summer and winter. Try to realize the miserable condition of living entities who are miserable even in the higher planetary systems. Philosophically, inquire about the truth. Philosophically, inquire about the truth. Then undergo all kinds of austerities and penances for the sake of devotional service. Give up the endeavor for sense enjoyment and engage in service of the Lord. Listen to discussions about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always associate with devotees. Chant about and glorify the Supreme Lord and look upon everyone equally on the spiritual platform. Give up enmity and subdue anger and lamentation. Abandon identifying the self with the body and the home and practice reading the revealed scriptures. Live in a secluded place and practice the process by which you can completely control your life, air, mind, and senses. Have full faith in the revealed scriptures, the Vedic literatures, and always observe celibacy. Perform your prescribed duties and avoid unnecessary talks. Always thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Acquire knowledge from the right source. Thus, practicing Bhakti Yoga, you will patiently and enthusiastically be elevated in knowledge and will be able to give up the false ego. कर्माशयं हृदयग्रन्थिबन्धम् अविद्यया साधितमप्रमत्तः अनेन योगेन यतोपदेशं सम्यग्व्यपोह्योपरमेत योगात्. As I have advised you, my dear sons, you should act accordingly. Be very careful. By these means, you will be freed from ignorance of desire for fruitive activity, and the knot of bondage in the heart will be completely severed. For further advancement, you should only give up the means. That is, you should not become attached to the process of liberation itself. For further advancement, you should you should also give up the means. That is, you should not become attached to the process of liberation itself. पुत्रांश्च शिष्यांश्च नृपो गुरुर्वा मल्लोककामो मदनुग्रहार्थः इत्थं विमन्युरनुशिष्याद् इत्थं विमुन्यनुशिष्यादतज्ञान न योजयेत् कर्मसु कर्ममूढान् कं योजयन्मनुयोक्तं लभेत निपातयन्न पृष्ठदृशं हि गर्ते. If one is serious about going back home, back to Godhead, he must consider the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the summum bonum and the chief aim of life. If he is the father instructing his sons, a spiritual master instructing his disciples, or a king instructing his citizens, he must instruct them as I have advised. Without being angry, he should continue giving instructions even if his disciple, son, or citizen is sometimes unable to follow his order. Ignorant people who engage in pious and impious activities should be engaged in devotional service by all means. They should always avoid fruitive activity. If one puts into the bondage of karmic activity his disciple, son, or citizen who is bereft of transcendental vision, how will one profit? It is like leading a blind man to the dark well and causing him to fall in. लोकस्वयं श्रेयसि नष्टदृष्टिर्योऽर्थान् समीहेत निकामकामः अन्योन्यवैरः सुकलेशहेतोरनन्तदुःखं च न वेदमूढः. Due to ignorance, the materialistic person does not know anything about his real self-interest, the auspicious path in life. He is simply bound by material enjoyment, by lusty desires, and all his plans are made for this purpose. For temporary sense gratification, such a person creates a society of envy, and due to his mentality, he plunges into the ocean of suffering. Such a foolish person does not even know about this. Kastam swayam tadabiho vipashchid avidyayamantare vartamanam drishtva punastam sadrunah kubuddhim payojayodutpatagam yatandham. If someone is ignorant and addicted to the path of samsara, how can one who is actually learned, merciful, and advanced in spiritual knowledge engage him in fruitive activity and thus further entangle him in material existence? If a blind man is walking down the wrong path, how can a gentleman allow him to continue on his way to danger? How can he approve this method? No wise or kind man can allow this. Gurur nasasyat swajano nasasyat pita nasasyat janani nasasyat daivam natasyan napatischa sasya daivam natasyan napatischa sasyan namochayedyah samupeta mrutyum. One who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. Idam shariram mama dhurvibhavyam sattvam hi me hrudayam yatra dharmaha prushte kruto me yada dharma arad ato hi mam rushabham prahuraryaha. My transcendental body, Satchidananda Vigraha, looks exactly like a human form, but it is not a material human body. It is inconceivable. It is not forced by nature to accept a particular type of body. I take on a body by my own sweet will. My heart is also spiritual, and I always think of welfare of my devotees. Therefore, within my heart can be found the process of devotional service, which is meant for the devotees. Far from my heart have I abandoned irreligion, adharma, and non devotional activities. They do not appeal to me. Due to all these transcendental qualities, people generally pray to me as Rishabha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the best of all living entities. तस्माद् भवन्तो हृदयेन जाताः सर्वे महीयां सममुं सनाभम् अक्लिष्टबुद्ध्या भरतं भजध्वं शुश्रूषणं तद्भगणं प्रजानाम्. My dear boys, you are all born of my heart, which is the seat of all spiritual qualities. Therefore, you should not be like materialistic and envious men. You should accept your eldest brother, Bharata, who is exalted in devotional service. If you engage yourselves in Bharata's service, your service to him will include my service, and you will rule the citizens automatically. Bhuteshu virudbhya uduttamaye सरीसृपास्तेषु सबोधनिष्ठाः ततो मनुष्याः प्रमतास्ततोऽपि गन्धर्वसिद्धा विबुधानुगाये देवासुरेभ्यो मगवत्प्रधान दक्षादयो ब्रह्मसुतास्तु तेषां भवः परः सोत विरिञ्च वीर्यः समत्परोऽहं द्विजदेवदेवः. Of the two energies manifest, spirit and dull matter, beings possessing living force, vegetables, grass, trees and plants, are superior to the dull matter, stone and earth, etc. Superior to the non-moving plants and vegetables are worms and snakes which can move. Superior to the worms and snakes are animals that have developed intelligence. Superior to animals are human beings, and superior to human beings are ghosts because they have no material bodies. Superior to ghosts are Gandharvas, and superior to them are the Siddhas. Superior to the Siddhas are the Kinnaras, and superior to them are the Asuras. Superior to the Asuras are the demigods, and of the demigods, Indra, the king of heaven, is supreme. Superior to Indra are the direct sons of Lord Brahma, sons like King Daksha. The supreme among Brahma's sons is Lord Shiva. Since Lord Shiva is the son of Lord Brahma, Brahma is considered superior. But Brahma is also subordinate to me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because I am inclined to the Brahmanas are the best of all. न ब्राह्मणैस्तुल्यते भूतमन्यत् पश्यामि विप्राः किमतः परं तु यस्मिन् नृभिः प्रहृतं श्रद्धयाहम् अश्नामि कामं न तथाग्निहोत्रे. O respectful Brahmanas, as far as I am concerned, no one is equal or superior to the Brahmanas in this world. I do not find anyone comparable to them. When people know my motive after performing rituals according to the Vedic principles, they offer food to me with faith and love through the mouth of a Brahmana. When food is thus offered to me, I eat it with full satisfaction. Indeed, I derive more pleasure from the food offered in that way, than from the food offered in the sacrificial fire. धृता तनूरूषत् धृता तनूरूषति मे पुराणी येनेह सत्वं परमं पवित्रम् शमोदमः सत्यमनुग्रहश्च तपस्तितिक्षानुभवश्च यत्र. The Vedas are my eternal, transcendental sound incarnation. Therefore, the Vedas are Shabda Brahma. In this world, the Brahmanas thoroughly studied all the Vedas, and because they assimilate the Vedic conclusions, they are also to be considered the Vedic Vedas personified. The Brahmanas are situated in the supreme transcendental mode of nature, Sattvaguna. Because of this, they are fixed in the mind control, Sama, sense control, Dhamma, and truthfulness, Satya. They describe the Vedas in their original sense, and out of mercy, Anugraha, they preach the purpose of Vedas in all conditioned souls. They practice penance, tapasya, and tolerance, titiksha, and they realize the position of the living entity and the Supreme Lord, Anubhava. They are the eight qualifications of the Brahmanas. Therefore, among all living entities, no one is superior to the Brahmanas. Mattopyanantat paratah parastat Swargapavargadhipaterna kinchit yesham kimusyadhitarena tesham akinchananam mai bhakti bhajam. I am fully opulent, almighty, and superior to Lord Brahma and Indira, the king of the heavenly planets. I am also the bestower of all happiness obtained in the heavenly kingdom and by liberation. Nonetheless, the Brahmanas do not seek material comforts from me. They are very pure and do not want to possess anything. They simply engage in my devotional service. What is the need for their asking for material benefits from anyone else? Sarvani Maddishnataya bhavadbhischarani bhutani suta dhruvani sambhavitavyani pade padevo vivikta dhrugbhasta druharhanam me. My dear sons, you should not envy any living entity, be he moving or non-moving. Knowing that I am situated in them, you should offer respect to all of them at every moment. In this way, you offer respect to me. Manovacho drukkarane hitasya sakshat kritam me paribharhanam hi vinapuman yena mahavimohat kritanta pashanna vimoktumishet. The true activity of the sense organs, mind, sight, words, and all the knowledge gathering and working senses is to engage fully in my service. Unless his senses are thus engaged, a living entity cannot think of getting out of the great entanglement of material existence, which is exactly like Yamaraja's stringent rope. Shri Shuka Uvacha Yeva Manushasyaatmajan Swayamanushishthanapi lokanushasanartam Mahanubhavah Paramahru Suhrud Bhagavan Rishabha Upashamashilanamupara takarmanam Mahamuninam Bhakti Jnana Vairagya Lakshanam पारमहंस्य धर्ममुपशिक्षमाणः स्वतनया शतज्येष्ठं परमभागवतं भागवज्जनपरायणं भरतं धरणीपालनायाभिषिच्य स्वयं भवन येवोर्वरित शरीर मात्र परिग्रह उन्मत्त इव गगनपरिधानः प्रकीर्णकेशा आत्मन्यारोपिताः भनीयो ब्रह्मावर्तत्प्रव्राज आत्मन्यारोपिताः वनीयो ब्रह्मावर्तात् प्रव्राज. Sukadeva Goswami said, "Thus the great well-wisher of everyone, the Supreme Lord Rishabha instructed his own sons. Although they were perfectly educated and cultured, he instructed them just to set an example of how a father should instruct his sons before retiring from family life. Sannyasis who are no longer bound by fruitive activity and who have taken to devotional service after all their material desires have been vanquished also learn by these instructions. Lord Rishabhadeva instructed his 100 sons, of whom the eldest Bharata was very advanced devotee and follower of Vaishnavas. In order to rule the whole world, the Lord enthroned his eldest son on the royal seat. Thereafter, although still at home, Lord Rishabhadeva lived like a madman, naked and with dishevelled hair. Then the Lord took the sacrificial fire within himself and he left Brahmavarta to tour the whole world. जडान्धमूकबधिरपतिशाचोन्माद कवधव धूतवेषोऽभिभाष्यमाणोऽपि जनानां गृहीतमौनव्रतस्तूर्णीं बभूव. After accepting the feature of Avaduta, a great saintly person without material cares, Lord Rishabhadeva passed through human society like a blind, deaf, and a dumb man, an idle stone, a ghost, or a madman. Although people called him such names, he remained silent and did not speak to anyone. Tatra tatra puragrama करखेटवाट स्वर्वठ शिभिर व्रजधोषसार्थ गिरिवनाश्रमादिष्वनुपथ मवनिचरापसधैः परिभूयमानो मक्षिकाभिरिव वनगजस्तर्जनताडनाव मेहनष्टिवनग्रावश क्रुद्रज्रः प्रक्षेपपूरिवात दुरुक्तैस्तदविघानयन्नेवासत्संस्थान एतस्मिन् देहोपलक्षणे सदपदेश उभयानुभवस्वरूपेण स्वमहि मावस्तानेनासमारोपिताहं ममाभिमानत्वाद् विकण्डितमनः पृथिवीमेकचरः परिभ्रभ्राम. Rishabhadeva began to tour through cities, villages, mines, countrysides, valleys, gardens, military camps, cow pens, the homes of cowhead men, transient holes, hills, forests, and hermitages. Wherever he travelled, all bad elements surrounded him, just like flies surround the body of an elephant coming from the forest. He was always being threatened, beaten, urinated upon, and spat upon. Sometimes people threw stones, stool, and dust at him, and sometimes people passed foul air before him. Thus, people called him many bad names and gave him a great deal of trouble. But he did not care about this, for he understood that the body is simply meant for such an end. He was situated on the spiritual platform, and being in his spiritual glory, he did not care for all these material insults. In other words, he completely understood that matter and spirit are separate, and he had no bodily conception. Thus, without being angry at anyone, he walked through the whole world alone. अतिसुकुमार करचरणोरस्थल विपुलबाह्व सघल वदनाद्यवयवविन्यासः प्रकृति सुंदर स्वभावहास मुमुखो नवनलिनधलायमान शिशिर तारागुणायतनयन्नरुचिरः सदृश सुभग कपोलकर्णकण्टनासो विगूढस्मितवदन महोत्सवेन पुरवनितानां मनसि कुसुमशरासनमुपादधानः पराघवलम्भमान कुटिल जटिल कपिश केशभूरिभारोपभारोवधूतमलिन निज शरीरेण गृहीत इवाधृशयत्. Lord Rishabhadeva's hands, feet, and chest are very long. His shoulders, face, limbs are also very delicate and symmetrically proportioned. His mouth was beautifully decorated with his natural smile, and he appeared all the more lovely with his reddish eye spread wide like petals on a newly grown lotus flower covered with a dew in early morning. The irises of his eyes were so pleasing that they removed all the troubles of everyone who saw him. His forehead, ears, neck, nose, and all his other features were very beautiful. His gentle smile always made his face beautiful, so much so that he even attracted the hearts of married women. It was as though they were being pierced by arrows of Cupid. About his head was the abundance of curly, matted brown hair. His hair was dishevelled because his body was dirty and not taken care of. He appeared as if he was haunted by a ghost. Yarhi vavasa bhagavan lokamimam yogasyaddha pratipamiva chakshanas tatpratikriya karma bibhatsitamiti व्रतमाज गरमाथितः शयान एवाश्नाति पिबति खादत्यवमेहति दहति स्म चेष्टमान उच्चरित आदिग्धो देशः. When Lord Rishabhadeva saw that the general populace was very antagonistic to his execution of mystic yoga, he accepted the behavior of a python in order to counteract their opposition. Thus, he stayed in one place and lay down. While lying down, he ate and drank, and he passed stools and urine and rolled in it. Indeed, he smeared his whole body with his own stool and urine, so that the opposing elements might not come and disturb him. Tasya hayah puripasurabhi saugandhyavasustam desham dashayojanam samantat surabhim chakara. Because Lord Rishabhadeva remained in that condition, the public did not disturb him, but no bad aroma emanated from his stool and urine. Quite the contrary, his stool and urine were so aromatic that they filled 80 miles of the countryside with pleasant fragrance. Yevam go mrugaka kacharya Yevam go mrugakacharyaya vrajam sthishtannasinah shayanah kakamrugagocharitah pibhati swadatyava mehati sma. In this way, Lord Rishabhadeva followed the behavior of cows, deer, and crows. Sometimes he moved or walked, and sometimes he sat down in one place. Sometimes he lay down, behaving exactly like cows, deer, and crows. In this way, he ate, drank, passed stool and urine, cheated the people in this way. Iti nana yogacharya charano Bhagavan Kaivalya Pati Rishabho Virata Parama Mahanandanubhava Atmani Sarvesham Bhutanam Atma Bhute Bhagavati Vasudeva Atmano Vyavadhanananta Rodhara Bhavena Siddha Samastartha Paripurno Yogaishwaryani Vaihayasa Manojavantardhana Parakaya Pravesha Dhura Grahanadini Yadruchayopagatani Nanjasa Nrupa Hridayenabhyanandat. O King Parikshit, just to show all the yogis the mystic process, Lord Rishabhadeva, the partial expansion of Lord Krishna, performed wonderful activities. Actually, he was the master of liberation and was fully absorbed in transcendental bliss, which increased 1,000-fold. Lord Krishna, Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva, is the original source of Lord Rishabhadeva. There is no difference in their constitution, and consequently, Lord Rishabhadeva awakened the loving symptoms of crying, laughing, and shivering. He was always absorbed in transcendental love. Due to this, all the mystic powers automatically approached him, such as ability to travel in the outer space at the speed of the mind, to appear and disappear, to enter the bodies of others, to see things far, far away. Although he could do all this, he did not exercise these powers. Thus ends the chapter entitled Teachings, Lord Rishabhadeva's Teachings to his sons. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.